What can men get away with that women can't? My boyfriend loves going to the pub and chatting with the Jesus. All men. Sometimes I wish there was a public room full of tipsy old ladies I could chat to. Find your local bingo hall. Just don't win. Haven't seen it, and as a woman, I'm doing it right now and getting stares. But sitting at a bar alone to drink. In the movies. Wearing the same clothes. Guys get to have 5 shirts and 2 pants and it's clothes for a month. Having extra hair on their body. This reminds me of the time my mom and I were discussing bikini waxes. I want one, but she doesn't understand why I would want to look like a child and asked me, so if you shave everything, you would think it's okay for your boyfriend to shave everything? Then we had one of the most awkward conversations we've ever had. I had to explain to her that his hair down there was like a fuzzy, prickly mop that just dried up all my juices and itched me horribly. So he does shave down there for me. She said we must look like toddlers fooling around with each other. I told her this isn't the 70s anymore. Not being aware they've had children. Simultaneously being bald and having a beard. My grandma is trying out this look. Peeing inconspicuously anywhere they want without either having piss drop down their thighs or popping a squat. Do you guys understand how lucky you are that you don't need TP or wiping after a piss? What really bugs me about this is then you have the guys who will bitch because their girlfriend goes through more toilet paper than them. We have to use it more often. And during periods. Well, it's basically like trying clean up a crime scene. Edit. My husband isn't the one complaining. I also buy the TP. Edit 2. Kind of sucks. My highest rated comment on Reddit is over TP. Using couchsurfing. Com without much anxiety. So true. The first time I used couchsurfing, the man proposed. I simply moved in with him and his son. 4. Within a couple of hours, even though I stated I was just traveling. That very night he came to the room door shirtless asking what I was up to. I replied I will be heading out in 10 minutes with a friend. He then said there's a lot one can do in 10 minutes, wink wink. This was also the last time I used couchsurfing. Edit. Thank you everyone for the kind and funny words. No, we did not end up together, bath. Those were my last 10 minutes there. I did leave a negative review and have never been back on the site, frankly. Lastly, this happened in L. Where I now live, and I was visiting from France. Publicly roasting their friends. If a woman is wearing a questionable shirt, her friends will say, oh that's cute. If a guy shows up to a gathering wearing a pork pie hat, you know damn well his friends are going to clown on him. Becoming a priest in the Roman Catholic Church. I heard that the Church of England is trying to move forward with female bishops. Which is funny. Because bishops only move diagonally. Edit. Thanks to you, Sir Babolat, for the gold. 5 months late. Going shirtless in public. Edit. I didn't expect this one to blow up. Please let me know if I'm wrong. But basically, as soon as I settled into my career, my extended family have gotten into wondering when I'm going to be popping out babies. Like they even legit skipped asking about where my husband is. They just want me to make babies. Like, I'm single, new to this career, just trying to pay off my loans. And the notion that babies are not on the forefront of my mind baffles them. It seems like this notion that I'm just expected to be a mother and the primary caretaker at some point might affect me negatively in the workforce too. Edit. Thanks to all of the men and women both telling their stories. I really appreciate hearing it. And I'm sorry for those of you feeling the pressure from family. Repeating outfits. Have pants with actual pockets. Just once I want to find a pocket in a pair of women's pants that's not a fake pocket. Wearing the same clothes every day. I think there was an Australian newscaster who wore the same suit, but only changed the dress shirt every day, and none of the viewers either cared enough to write in or actually notice. Dating someone much younger than them. Or shorter. My older sister has a master's in HR. She has 18 years experience in the field and also handles payroll for the company she works for. The guys at her job expected her to make coffee and handle all incoming calls. She told them, "I'm not a secretary nor am I a barista." They proceeded to ostracize her. It continues to this day and she has no idea what to do. Someone in another reply mentioned that it's harder for women to be serious without someone thinking that they are being a bitch. I flat out wish I could walk into her office and just Tasmanian devil their ass. Then again, I'm pretty stupid and my answer is always to go Tasmanian devil on a situation. So my partner and I have literally the same master's degree. But when people talk about something in our field, they always want to know his opinion and don't even bother asking me. Not sure if this is a general thing though. Just one of my pet peeves. Being calm, direct, and serious in nature. I try to be as professional as possible, but many people think I'm a stuck-up bitch because I don't smile excessively and talk a lot. Interrupting. Especially in a business environment. When I try to talk, men will start a sentence like they were speaking into silence. Once, I interrupted a male co-worker and the room would have been less hostile if I had murdered a toddler instead. Being an ass without being accused of being on their period. Not worrying about an appearance. Like if I'm lazy, I'll roll out of bed in the gym shorts and t-shirt I wore to sleep, grab my keys and wallet, and go right to my car to get shopping done. Most girls I know would be mortified to do that. There's so much pressure to look pretty. Enjoying certain things, sports, video games. Oh. So you think you're a Niners fan? What was the name of their 1979 quarterback's dog? Get an ASD diagnosis. This one sucks both ways. Women with ASD present very differently to men because we're socialized differently as children. This means women cope better with ASD, but also makes it very difficult for us to get a diagnosis and therefore help. Walking home alone at night. I can't imagine being completely terrified every time I needed to take even just a short walk home. I do this frequently. And I'll not lie, I get harassed. But FCK it. I'm going to the movies alone now. Because I'm not going to let sorely frustrated assholes dictate where I do or do not go. This is definitely a bad thing no matter who does it, and most men do not do this. People shouldn't get away with this. But they do. It's thing where you date someone for a while. Things are going well. You move in together. Then bam. You turn around and say, "Honey, I expect you to do all my laundry, cooking, and cleaning from now on. After all, you are my wife now." This happened to a couple of my friends. I have only seen this seismic shift in power dynamics from the male partner towards his female partner, not the other way around. While they're living separately and dating, the guy is fine doing his own household chores. Then once he moves in with a girlfriend wife, he expects her to take on all chores. Aging. Bits removed. Putting their careers ahead of marriage and children. I'm single and turning 31 in 3 months. I'm still not sure if I really want children. I explained to my housemate's girlfriend that my career was my priority. The greatest compliment I received was that she commented I was like a man. Why yes. Thanks, I guess I am. Being more focused on their career than having a family and settling down. When a woman does this, she's considered cold. When a man does it, he's ambitious. Readjusting, scratching themselves in public. Slowly stretch his leg across room to get balls unstuck from legs. Not everyone does it freely. Playing online video games and using voice chat without getting harassed. I play Rainbow Six Siege. I need to use voice chat with my team to make callouts as text chat is just too slow. The amount of times I've had men rapidly ask if I'm a girl. To keep talking. To hum, yeah, that happened once. It was weird, is astounding. I've had people follow me around the map and make lewd comments, and if I mute them, which I'm hesitant to do because again, callouts, then they start using text chat which you can't mute. And of course, you can only report hackers, not abuse, so I can't do anything about them. Oh, and I always receive a friend request after. Edit. I also forgot to mention, if I get defensive then I'm a bitch. CNT take things too seriously because it was just a joke. If I ignore it then the abuse continues. And for obvious reasons I'm not going to go along with it. I've only ever had about 2 people defend me in game. One of which was a friend I was playing with, and very grateful for. Peeing your name in the snow. It just seems like if a woman wanted to do that it would be unlegible. You have to shuffle around like a crab. It's not impossible. Doing whatever it is that, when women do it, is called bossy. As a FTM person I can confirm no one gives a shit about your appearance when you're male. But when you're female you get people telling you to dress nicer or wear makeup to make you look more attractive. Not having kids. Apparently I'm selfish. I've never wanted them. No, I'm not changing my mind, and if I do, guess what, Sharon, it's none of your f-king business. I don't want to hold your baby. No, it's not cute. It's a f-king potato that shts and cries FCK off. Being ugly and still being taken seriously. A man who isn't in the best of shape can go out and mow his lawn without a shirt on. With no problem. A woman, also not the most physically fit, does it in a crop top and there's a big chance some shared driving by is going to comment on it. Travel the world solo. Talking about how much PSSY their son, nephew, buddy's kid is going to get. If I said my daughter or niece was going to catch a lot of dick one day I'd look like a f-king weirdo. Not knowing shit. I feel like on average a man who has no idea what he's talking about is given the benefit of the doubt and presumed to be more knowledgeable and providing more trustworthy information than a woman. Even if the woman actually does know what she's talking about. It's like women have a presumption of incompetence and men have a presumption of competence. Traveling alone. Of course I know women are capable of traveling alone. But the risk of being raped, drugged, abducted, taken advantage of are far higher being a female than a male. Making rap videos. More specifically, making rap videos without having to display your ass. Peeing standing up. I think the issue here is more physical than part of a society double standard. I am a man. I always thought that an ugly guy could always score a good looking girl because of his confidence, connections, or providing capacity. But I imagine that the contrary is highly less probable. Edit. Dadbud. Dadbud might be a term, but it's not viewed as a positive thing. No man wants a dadbud, said as a guy with a dadbud. Thanks to my 1-year-old haha, it's a confidence thing as well as a health thing. Edit. Not being attractive. An unattractive man and an unattractive woman are going to get pretty much the same amount of hit-ons. Yeah. But an unattractive woman lives in this weird double category where she simultaneously doesn't exist and is inherently offensive by her very nature. Like she's shirking a duty or something, so the world must shun her. I legitimately think about this all the time now because one time I saw a photo of Donald Trump, not doctored to make him look good or bad. Just talking, and it occurred to me that if a woman looked anywhere close to his level of fat as ill-fitting suits, wrinkly double chin, there is no f-king way she would be elected president. Transplant the exact same personality into a woman as comparably ugly as Trump and she'd have no supporters. It's wild. Men can get away with acting a lot more irresponsibly than women. A man who has no idea how to take care of his own children, change a nappy, cook a proper dinner, is totally unsurprising. A man whose house looks like student accommodation isn't anything surprising. A man forgetting birthdays and wedding anniversaries and Christmas presents isn't surprising. A man who takes on 0 of the household chores isn't surprising. A man can fit all of these statements and still not be perceived as a bad father or husband. It's the norm. Driving a car in the Middle East. It. Men telling women they're wrong. Having a sex life. Having an opinion. Being strong-willed. Being moody. Women are expected to be ever cheerful, always available, ever smiling Pollyanna types, and if you're not, you get rejected and criticized. Interrupting people and talking with a strong tone. If a man does it, he's seen as passionate and strong-willed. If a woman does it, she's seen as bitchy and emotional. Anyone interrupting people and talking with a strong tone is equally unacceptable to me, regardless of gender. Getting the snip. For men, they just walk into the doctor's office, lay down on a table, and within 10 minutes they are done. Sterile and still firing, and often no questions about their decisions. For women, it's a huge battle, especially when you're younger, and often impossible. You'll be told that you're too young to do this, that your mind will change as you age, and if you somehow jump through all the hoops and the courts don't rule you down, it means thousands of dollars out of your pocket to go to hospital. Honestly, I don't even care about the cost. I just want a free choice to do what I want with my body. Get upset without it being blamed on by something biological. Being straightforward. I'm a straight talker and I get accused of being overly assertive. If I were a man, I'm sure it would be seen as a positive. Not participating as much in raising their kids. If my husband watches our son for 2 hours while I go out for dinner once a month, he's the world's greatest dad. The standard is so low it should be offensive to men. We went out to eat once and my husband finished up while I tended to our son. He then offered to take our son to the car while I finished. Our waitress came back and actually said to me, "You're so lucky to have a man watch your baby." We both wear wedding bands and the kids ginger as they come, pretty obviously ours. I'm also the one who gets tea heaped on me for anything people perceive to be wrong about our parenting. My husband is absolved. There are a lot of options to pick from, but I think the most upfront option would be being dirty. Men are very easily forgiven for being dirty, while women receive more criticism for the same thing. And as far as dirty, I mean their workspace, their living space, and sometimes the way they dress. 10 men can pee in the same bucket at the same time. What if there are? Stop giving Rule 34 more ideas. Guys don't have to be constantly smiling. And when they're not smiling, I doubt anyone says you would be so much prettier if you smiled. It. Whoa. Lots of guys have this problem too. You learn something new every day. Thanks for all the responses. Having an interest in music, video games, or whatever hobby without being questioned on it. Examples being, wow, you're good at video games for a girl. Or you like this band? Are you a real fan? Not having children. Excessive perspiration as well. I'm a female but my sweat glands in my underarms are overly large, so even when I'm cold I'm sweating. I've tried all the deodorants and antiperspirants on the market and they just don't work. My DR has told me that the only way to make it stop is to get Botox injections. That's not very practical, so I have to carefully choose my outfit every morning and buy certain fabrics that don't show sweat or won't stain after 2 wears. I also shower every day, sometimes more than once, and I'm very clean. Women walking around with huge pit stains looks grosser than a guy walking around with them. Men can be depressed. I have a self-deprecating sense of humor and will find a woman who will take care of them and love them and support them. If a woman is depressed, she just has a downer attitude and is rejected. Edit because my phone speech to text wigged out lol. Late to the post. But the assumption that women should appreciate being shown attention by pretty much any guy. Also, that there needs to be a good reason for rejecting one or not liking one back. Oh, but he's so nice. You should just give him a chance. You're a bitch if you're single and you don't, but if one of my guy friends rejects a girl he's not attracted to, nobody is going to try to convince him to give it a shot because she's a really nice girl. I have guy friends that flat out state they don't date overweight women. Not because they have a problem with it. They just don't find it attractive. But are fast to complain about how women can be so shallow. Not every guy is gonna look like Jason Momoa. Obviously not. But just the assumption women should be satisfied by something as basic and nondescript as nice while a lot of guys act like they deserve playboy bunnies for simply existing is irritating. Ripping a thunderous fart whilst among friends. You've obviously never been to a sleepover with a group of women. Government having control over your body. Being sassy. I get called sassy at least a couple times a month. Telling the doctor about pain and not getting accused of being hysterical or exaggerated. I've been seeing doctors for years and have documented proof of my illness. And they still ask my boyfriend to verify what I'm saying. They sometimes even stop asking me questions and just talk to him. Like I'm not in the room. These threads are always hilarious to me. In the opposite thread, some dude will post an answer. And several dudes will agree and circle jerk each other about it. In here, a woman posts an answer. And there's 42 comments about why it's wrong and men's lives are just as hard. This so much. Every time there is a thread about female RP or domestic violence victims, it is always completely overshadowed with comments about male RP and DV victims. Like, yes, they exist and they are equally important, but can you all just listen to us women for a few minutes? Or stop the TTY comments about the false RP reports. I 100% agree that these are important topics. But like, read the room. This isn't a contest of who has harder. You can listen to women without changing the topic back to men.